Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live. Today, we're gonna talk about why Turo hosts should go private. Okay, so this is for you, my Turo hosts out there. All right, I know a lot of y'all love Turo. Turo makes it easy. I'm not here to bash Turo. I'm just here to show you a whole nother world that you may not have thought of, that you may not have seen already. Okay, so in this live, we're going to talk about exactly that. We're going to talk about the differences between Turo and private. And I'm just going to give you the opportunity to see what the other side of Turo can be like. Okay, Turo is good, but there's a whole nother world out here on the private side that you can get into that can make your life a whole lot easier, that you can make a whole lot more money. Okay, this is what I do on a day-to-day basis. The private car rental business has completely changed my life. So I'm just here to show you and then let you decide for yourself how you want to approach it. Okay, so without any delay, we're gonna jump right into the presentation. We're gonna talk about Turo and private. Okay, so very simple. All right, let's get right into it. So we're gonna start here with Turo. What is it? Okay, most people here are gonna be Turo hosts, right? You're gonna already be on Turo. You're gonna know what it is. But Turo, right, is simply an app. Okay, it's a software company that is designed to connect a renter and a host. Okay, that's all they do. They connect the renter and the host. And Turo is essentially like your business partner, and they do provide and make it very, very easy to start in the car rental business. So for me, I like Turo for brand new hosts and brand new people into the car rental industry. All right, what does Turo actually do? Let's talk about it. So Turo, number one, they provide bookings. Okay, this is what a lot of people like Turo for. All right, so you just list your cars and people start booking your cars. They have a calendar, everything is already set up for you, and you don't have to do a thing other than just list your cars. Take pictures, put your description, list your cars, and then Turo provides you bookings. They bring customers to the table. All right, so this is actually a major function Turo brings to the table. All right, because it makes it very, very easy to start, right? It makes it a low barrier of entry. That's why when you go on Turo, you see like 50 cars in your city. All right, because everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Okay, so Turo provides bookings. Okay, they do all the marketing for you. All right, you don't have to do any ads. You don't have to run any marketing because Turo does everything for you. Okay, and this is actually important. Why? Because most people don't even know where to go, where to start when it comes to marketing. All right, so they just list their cars on Turo. Turo actually does a lot of marketing on the back end when it comes to search engine optimization. So if you go on Google right now and you Google car rental in whatever city that you're in, Turo will come up on that top 5 list. Okay, because they spend a lot of money on SEO, which is search engine optimization, and that's how Turo actually gets customers and bookings in the door rapidly. Okay, so this is a major thing Turo brings to the table. Turo provides insurance. This is a big one. All right, a lot of people have the big insurance question, and Turo does make it super easy. Okay, they insure your vehicles, they pay out on claims, and they have their own policies and systems around that. And because Turo is the one that insures the vehicles, they're the one that gets to decide whether or not your claim gets paid out, whether or not you followed their procedures to get the proper insurance so that you get your claims properly paid out. All right. So Turo provides that. I know this is a big one for people. A lot of people don't understand the insurance side when it comes to switching over from Turo, which is why a lot of people are like, cool, I'm just gonna stick on Turo, and that's completely fine, completely understandable. But this is a major key that Turo provides. Okay, they provide customer service. Most people don't think about this. Okay, if you rent a car to someone on Turo and that person has an issue, they don't call you the host first. They actually call Turo first. Okay, so that customer service aspect is important. Turo does provide that, and that's actually really good. So Turo is your business partner. Okay, Turo is your business partner, and that's why they do the revenue share. All right, they can take up to 40%, just depending on your insurance plan. And for most people, if you're starting out, you're just looking to make an extra income, whatever, Turo can work in that way. But what the challenge I would like to pose to you guys is that if you're starting a car rental business, right, what is the main reason why you're starting? Okay, what is the purpose? What made you start? All right. What made you start the car rental business? Because when we look at what Turo doesn't do, a lot of the times, the whole reason why we start the business, Turo actually doesn't provide that for us. So let's talk about it. All right. You can't choose your customer. You don't get to decide who sits in your car. Turo decides that for you. So that is actually a huge aspect of any business. If you ask any business owner, right, if they could choose their clients, a lot of them would say yes. You can't really run an efficient business if you can't choose who you're working with, and that's vital. And when it comes to Turo, you can't, right? It's automatic bookings. In fact, most of the time when you cancel Turo, they penalize you, they shadow ban you. Um, Sometimes they remove you completely off the reservation list, off the booking list, and then if you do it too many times, they will fine you, and then eventually they will remove you. Okay, so this is a key where you can't choose your customers, and that can be problematic. Okay, there's car restrictions. All right, you can't go past certain ages of cars. Sometimes minor recalls will cause them to remove your car completely from the platform. Okay, so this is a big one, guys. There's a lot of Toro hosts who face this issue, and now they can't make money with their car. So you're telling me you decided to start a business, right? You're on a platform that you don't have any control over, and just because you have, I've seen a recall on a door, on like a door hinge, and the car gets removed from the platform. So a lot of the times these things happen, or your car gets too old. Your car is older than 12 years, 15 years, and now you're getting removed off the platform. You can no longer make money with that car. So this is something to keep in mind. Car restrictions is huge, especially when you're in an industry where you make money with cars. Okay, they can kick you off the platform for any reason. All right, they can kick you off the platform for any reason, especially if you break their long list of terms and conditions. I don't know if any of you have ever read terms and conditions. I guarantee none of you have. I know I haven't. So you can break one of those rules in there, and just like that, you're off the platform. For me, I've had cars removed off the platform for canceling too many trips. Like, that's my experience. So, and I wasn't even on Turo for very long. So I know there's a lot of hosts out there who've been on Turo for a very long time, just getting cars removed here and there, right? It makes it extremely hard to run a sustainable business and to actually make money in a sustainable way when you can get kicked off the platform so easily. Okay, you can't choose your price. All right, I know there's technically a way you can, but since you're competing with so many people, you really can't. Because once your price is too high, right, you're doing the race to the bottom. Everybody is trying to lower their price and be the cheapest so they can get the most bookings. Well, what happens? Well, now the car that you have is going for way less than it probably should, especially if you look anything outside of economy. Okay, so the people that are trying to do luxury, people that are trying to do exotics on Turo, man, you're getting wrecked. You're getting wrecked. You shouldn't even think about doing something like that on Turo, because everybody will always try to lowball your price. All right, and this is a very difficult way to run a business. All right, so I want you guys to look at that and to really think about that. And then there's policy restrictions. Okay, there's places like New York where some hosts can't even rent their cars in New York. You have other platforms, right? It's not even just limited to Turo, like Trip City that just pulled out of I think Las Vegas. So these things can happen, right? There's restrictions, there's regulations. These platforms, they have partnerships to have insurance in certain areas, and that can change overnight. So essentially, you're kind of limited to whatever restrictions that platform has. And this is a very difficult way to run a business. So what I want to show you guys is that Turo is good. I'm not here to bash Turo. I know I talk about, escaping Turo and all that. I'm here to show you the other side. I'm here to show you what can happen if you kind of think outside the box. All right. So these are just some of the negative things that come with renting out your cars on Turo and just limiting yourself just to that one platform. All right. So let's talk about what is your why. I know there's a few people in here. I want you guys to, if you can, drop a comment. Tell me why you started this car rental business. And the reason why I want to know this is because I want you to put this down on paper, whether it's in the comment section, whether you write it down in your book. Why did you start this business? Right? Some people will say, I started this business to make side income. Cool. Some people will say, I started this business to to replace my 9 to 5. That's why I started this business. And some people will say, I just wanted to pay off my vehicle, right? Whatever the reason is, write it down. Why? Because when it comes to making money and starting a business, it's always good to reverse engineer why you started. That way, it makes it easy to figure out what direction that you want to go. All right. So what I'm about to show you next is the private side and how the private side can actually help you hit your goal. All right. And then I'll talk about how it helped me hit mine, and then we'll talk about it. All right. We'll do a Q&A at the end. So don't worry. If you have any questions, keep dropping it in the comments. So is washing cars every weekend your reason why? All right. Because I know on Turo, there's a lot of daily rentals. You might once in a while have someone that books your car for a couple of weeks. And even now, when somebody wants to book your car for a month, Turo is essentially giving them 50% off. So think about that, right? So even when the long-term renters come, Turo wants to give them such a huge discount that you barely make any money. Okay? So I know for most of y'all, washing cars is not going to be on your list of the reason why you started this business. All right? So unless it is, I don't know. You can tell me. Unless you want to wash cars every weekend, for most people, it's not. All right? Is it doing airport pickups? I don't know. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who have done Turo who talk about how they have to go to airport 30 minutes away from where they live, drop off cars. They have to call family members, call Uber to take them back. They spend a lot of time back and forth from the airports going to pick up the cars. Sometimes the customers don't even drop off the cars in the right place in the airport. You're getting charged extra fees. Like, this sounds like a whole lot of headache. And I know that doing airport pickups is not the reason why you started this car rental business. Okay. And then especially for business owners, for us, a lot of the times we don't factor in our time when we're starting the business. We're just looking at, well, I made an extra $300 this weekend. Okay, well, how much time did you spend? If you spend 2-3 hours, well, is that worth your time? If you spend 2-3 hours driving back and forth to the airport, is that worth your time? Washing cars, is it worth your time? You can tell me. So I want you guys to really think about your reason why, really reflect on it, really understand why you started this business. And then we're going to talk about, right, what does freedom mean to you? What does freedom actually mean to you? Okay. What does starting a business mean to you? Is starting a business mean that you are going to be working in the business day in and day out? Or does it mean that you're going to build something where you can have a system that actually pays you? Because I'll tell you what, Turo, funny enough, Turo is a system that pays the owners of the app. Turo is a system that pays the owners of the corporation. That's a system. All right. So when you're starting a business, you want the system, not necessarily the day-to-day activities. Okay. And for me, I built a car rental business model that gives me freedom through the systems. It's the systems that's valuable to me as opposed to the cars, as opposed to, actually doing the day-to-day activities. So what does it look like? Okay. I can control who I rent my cars to. This is very important. Why? Because I know exactly the type of customer I want to give my car to. I know exactly the type of renter I want to give my car to. The type of person that will be able to pay for the vehicle every single week or every single month, and needs the vehicle so they keep the vehicles for a long period of time. So I'm not stuck cleaning cars every weekend. I'm not stuck doing airport pickup and delivery. Okay? There's no car restrictions. No car restrictions. I can take a 2010 Nissan Rogue and make money with it. I can take a 2006 Toyota Corolla and make money with it. There's no restrictions. I can take a car with 200,000 miles and make money with it. So when you have a car that you have on Turo and your car is breaking the mileage point or breaking the age point, and now you basically can't make money with that car, that's a waste of a car. Really, that's a waste of a car. And then I'll pose you this question also. If you can make money, let's be more realistic. If you can make $400 a week with a 2013 Toyota Corolla, would you then go out there and buy a 2023 Toyota Corolla? You can buy a 2013 Toyota Corolla for like $5,000. Would you then go out and buy a 2023? No, because you will make the same amount of money. So why not take the cheaper car and make the same amount of money as you would with the newer car and be a lot more profitable? And now you have no car loan. Your insurance is much cheaper. Your cars are gone for long periods of time, all because you expanded your mind to something outside of Turo. Okay, so this is really for the Turo host. I want you guys to start thinking about things like this, especially because I know a lot of you are going to have challenges on the Turo app itself, because I've heard it. I've spoken to a lot of Turo hosts. I've heard it. I hear it all the time. Okay, now here's the key. Here's the key, and it's gonna get a whole lot. It's gonna get good. My renters make money with my car. So because they make money with my car, they don't want to get the car back. I don't know if anybody here has driven for Uber before. Those of you watching on replay, I don't know if you've ever driven for Uber before, but you can easily make $1,500 to $2,000 a week on Uber. I've done it. When I was in college, I was driving for Uber, making $2,000 a week. Now, if somebody can make $2,000 a week on Uber and they don't have a car, and you can solve that problem for them, they can pay you $400 every single week just to solve that problem. And then on top of that, they will keep your cars for months at a time. I have renters who have been renting with me for a year. My very first renter rented with me for like 16 months. So I want you guys to think about that, right? You're looking at changing the business model, right? Because when you're on Turo, you're getting like 2-3 days. You'll be lucky to get like a couple of weeks, right? You probably don't want a month straight out, because then Turo is giving them like half off. So you probably want every 2 weeks or something like that. But when you switch over to the private side, you have more control. You know who you can give your cars to. You know that this person is going to make money with my car. So that car is probably going to be gone for a little while. And then on top of that, here's the best part. Because they're going to keep the cars, any maintenance, anything like that, they will take the car to the mechanic. So all you need to do is have a relationship with the mechanic in your city, and your renter will take the car there for you. They will save you all that time for you to do that. All you need to do is have a relationship with a car wash in your city, and they'll take it there for you. And all you have to do is pay. All you have to do is pay them. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying here. I'm teaching you the system. I'm showing you the system that you can use to switch over. You will make more money. You will save a whole bunch of time. And on top of that, you'll be able to build a consistent revenue. Now, let's talk about the policy restrictions, because there is no policy restrictions when it comes to the private side. You are the policy, ladies and gentlemen. You are the policy. You get to decide whatever the hell you want to decide. If you don't want to give your car to somebody, you don't give your car to somebody. You want to pull that car out, you can pull that car out anytime. I've had to pull some cars out. I need a car. Shoot, all my cars are rented. Whoops, I accidentally rented all my cars. So now I got to pull one out so I can have something to drive. You can do that. Right? So this is extremely important. You're not dealing with platforms. You're not dealing with the evolving changes with a platform that you're heavily reliant upon. All right, so I want you guys to think about that. So when things change with Turo in New York, in Las Vegas, you're good. You're good. You can still continue to make money. And now here's the key. People don't know this. This is a gem. These platforms actually insure your cars. People don't know this, so now you know this. I'll give you an example. Uber actually does background checks. So does Lyft. They do their own background checks because they have to hold a commercial insurance policy for their drivers' vehicles. Why? Because Uber and Lyft, they have to protect their customer. They have to protect the riders, the people who are sitting in the cars. So they have to hold a huge insurance policy to protect the ride. So if your driver is driving on the platform and something happens, they get into an accident, Uber, and they're actively driving for Uber, Uber will actually cover that. Your car will actually be insured with Uber. Okay, so these platforms have a vested interest in insuring the vehicle. Now, when your driver is off the platform, they won't be covered by Uber, of course. But when they're on the platform, they will be. So this is where giving your car to the right person matters. Right? So this is what I'm saying. If you know that, okay, this person drives full time for Uber or Lyft, well, my cars are going to be on there like 90% of the time. They're insured. My car will be covered. The platforms will pay out. Okay, so being strategic and understanding what actually works versus what doesn't. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll get to them at the end. All right, so now, once you understand this, now it's about building systems that save you time. Time is so valuable, ladies and gentlemen. Time is more valuable than money because time is the one thing you can never get back. I'm 25 years old. I would never be 20 years old ever again. So why spend so much time in your business when you can just build a system that saves you that time, when you can just build a system that works for you? So let's talk about some of the systems that work for you. You're looking at car rental software. You have FleetWire, right? You have FleetNet. There's a bunch of them. HQ Rentals, whatever. Whatever system you want to use, cool. You want to use it. You can use it. All right, a lot of these systems create a website for you on the front end and then link to the back end so somebody can do automatic bookings if you wanted to do something like that. Cool. You have Go High Level. Go High Level is a customer relationship management platform where you can manage all your customers' info. All right, you can retarget. You can send them emails and SMS messages if you have cars available, and then they can tap in with you and rent your vehicles. You can do automations, automatically send out invoices and payment links and things like that. That way you don't have to do that manually each and every time. Okay, and then you have virtual assistants. It's not here, but you have virtual assistants. So you have a virtual assistant that can manage the overall for you. They can oversee everything. You don't have to do that. Each time I travel, and I just released it wasn't a blog, but it was more like a mastermind thing that I went to Atlanta. I wasn't here. I'm in Maryland. I flew to Atlanta. I still made money. My business was still running. I didn't have to wash any cars. I was in Atlanta for 7 days. A lot of you are Turo hosts. You leave for 7 days. There goes your money for the week. It's gone. You can't make no money this week because you're not there. So think about that, right? You can build a system where you can travel and you can still make money. So I want you guys to start thinking outside the box here. All right. So the system is everything. Systems. And then you start hiring people to manage your systems. That's what your virtual assistants are for. Anything virtual they can handle. You don't have to talk to customers on the phone. You don't have to post on social media yourself anymore. You don't have to send invoices anymore. Okay? You don't have to coordinate for oil changes. I don't coordinate for oil changes. All I know is I check my email, my mechanic sends me the invoice, and I just pay him for my phone. So I can do that from anywhere in the world. All right? I went to Asia for like 7 days. I don't know. Sorry, 2 weeks. I went to Asia for 2 weeks. Everything was still running smoothly. All I had to do was log into my system and just oversee and make sure everything was getting sent. Boom, done. So very important that you build the system. Okay, so I teach the system. I teach how to build a system. Okay, because the system is what will allow you to actually have your business working for you and not the other way around. Because once you get to the point where you can make your business work for you, game changer. Game changer. Now you can have 100 cars and everything will continue to work the way it's supposed to. And you don't have to do any extra work. And then once you have the system that works for you, you can focus your time on just buying cars or building relationships with people that will give you cars. And then everything just flows. Consistent revenue. All right. So the difference between the Turo and the private side and what I just showed you is the consistency in the revenue. I can almost pinpoint how much I'm going to make each and every month. Why? Because my cars are gone for long term. I'm not having to like wait for bookings. I'm not having to do 2-3 days and then wait for the next person. That kind of turnover is very difficult to maintain a business with that kind of turnover. You can ask any business owner. What you want is long-term customers that will stay with you, right, for a long period of time, and then you add new customers. That's how you build a sustainable business. That's the recurring business model, recurring revenue. It makes everything very easy. Once you can predict how much money you can make almost each and every month, then it's easy to build upon that. Then it's easy to buy more cars, right? It's easy to add systems and add softwares that will make things smoother. It's easy to hire, right? A lot of your Turo hosts are gonna have a hard time hiring people because you don't know how much money you're gonna make next month. In fact, you don't know if Turo is gonna remove your car next month. So how do you know? Okay, how do I hire this person? Very difficult. Okay. So I want you guys to think about that. Consistent revenue, very important. No more airport pickups, y'all. No more airport pickups. All my customers come to pick up from my location. Wherever I want them to pick up, they come and pick up the car. So most of the time, I don't have to leave my house. Maybe I have to walk out and meet them, right, somewhere close. Maybe I'll go to the nearest bus station and meet them there. Maybe I'll go to the nearest shopping center and meet them there, right? But I don't have to go 30 minutes, 45 minutes just to get a rental. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. So I want you guys to think about that, right? On the private side, what makes it worth it is the freedom it gives you. It gives you the freedom to make money, right, without tying your time. It gives you the freedom to make money without being in one specific location, which is amazing. Once you taste that, it's addictive. You can never get that. You can never get that feeling out of your head, right? And on top of that, it gives you the freedom to be able to make money where you can build an actual business with the money that you're making. All right. So you can travel while your business runs. You can do whatever you need to do. You can have, have time with your family. I know a lot of you guys have families. You can spend time with your children, and the business is working for you, not you working for the business. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Sometimes I have to break it down like this because I have a lot of information in my head. So I'm going to talk about my personal experience because this business completely changed my life. This business allowed me to quit my 9 to 5. Okay, I used to work in tech. It wasn't even like a trash job. I used to work in tech. I worked from home. I had all the benefits in the world. I worked for GE Healthcare, which was a giant company, international corporation, GE Healthcare. I was in IT operations. Okay, I didn't love the job, but hey, it was good. It was a good job. It was my dream job actually. When I first started trying to get into tech back in 2020, I wanted to work from home. And this was one of the jobs that I wanted, and I ended up getting it. But while I was doing that, I was building my car rental business on the side. Started on Turo. Realized very, very quickly that it's going to be very difficult to scale with this. Then started learning the private car rental business, and I was able to quickly scale with private car rentals. Like, I went from 1 to 4 to 9 to 16 to 20. So you can scale that quickly with private car rental business, right? And if I had a mentor earlier, I probably would do it even faster because I figured a lot of this shit out on my own. So that's what I want you guys to understand, that this can change your life. It's changed my life. And for me, if I can help free somebody from that 9 to 5, because time is more valuable to me than money. Like, the money is good, but it's the time that is freed up that allows me to do things like this, allows me to be able to travel where I want to go, allows me to be able to make an impact, right, and put a footprint on the world. And that's what this business has allowed me to do. So thank you guys for joining my live. It's up to you now. Which model, which path do you want to go? Definitely drop the questions in there because I know a lot of you are going to have questions. So drop your questions in there. But it's up to you which path you want to go. Turo is good, right? Turo is perfectly fine. I'm not here to bash Turo. If you want to go through Turo, they make it very, very easy. They make it very simple and straightforward. There are downsides to it, but then you have to play within their rules, and that's what it is. What it is, right? You're on their platform. Whatever other platforms that they are, like Trip City. I know the other one went out of business, but those are the platforms that you have to play within their rules, and rightfully so, because they spend a lot of money building out those platforms. So they're gonna have rules to make sure they protect themselves and that they make the most amount of money. All right. So I will be accepting new students very, very soon in my Facebook community. So if you're not already in there, most of you might already be in there. But if you're not already in there, you're watching this on playback, make sure you use the link in the description to join the free Facebook group I will be accepting students very, very soon. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Any questions? Feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I will switch this back. So let me know what questions you have. Um, yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for joining the live. This stuff is always awesome to me. It's always great to me. But I like the car rental business. And I'll tell you why. Because there is a lot of businesses out there. You don't have to do this one. But the reason why I like this one is because one, you have an asset, a car. Okay, it's a hard asset. All right. You can have digital businesses, and that's cool and that's good. But you have a hard asset that people want. Okay, because people want that asset, you're gonna always have demand for it. All right, so you're gonna always have demand for that asset. And if you do it right, you're gonna have no car payment. Like, you shouldn't have a car payment. If you're running a car rental business, you shouldn't have a car payment. Why do you have a car payment? Okay, your car payment should be for your personal car. You want a really nice personal car, cool, take a car payment for that. But for a car that you're renting out to people, you shouldn't have a car payment, especially if you're using the business model I just showed you, where you can have cheap cars, right? You give that to gig economy workers. They'll pay you a premium for those cars. They need it more than you. That's why they're willing to pay more for it. They'll use that car to make money. And they'll use that car to make a lot of money if they know what they're doing. All right. And then you can facilitate that. Like, you can help them make a lot of money. Like, I don't know if you understand that. You can tell them, hey, go sign up here, 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 here. And they'll do it, and they'll make a lot of money because they want to make money with your cars. All right. And then once they start making money with your cars, they're not going to want to give the cars back. They'll pay you every single week happily. They will not give you your cars back. And then all you have to do is make sure you have the relationships in your city to maintain that vehicle. That way the car doesn't break down. The car keeps running on the road and keeps making you money. I had cars that I bought for $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 that have made me $24,000, that have made me $25,000, $20,000 in a year. It's crazy. You're making like what, 3, 4, 500% on a vehicle in a year, and it's it's very hard to see those returns anywhere else. And because it's such high demand, and because the gig economy is growing, so a lot of people think like, oh, we're gonna get into an age where AI is gonna come in and blah blah blah. But the opposite is what's happening. AI is taking the desk jobs. AI is taking the remote workers. My old company, they've gotten rid of like half the operations team because of AI, because they can automate things. So AI is actually taking the desk jobs, and it's not taking the gig economy work because it's more nuanced, right? You have, unless they can, maybe eventually in 30 years, maybe in 30 years, but I doubt it, right? We're seeing the industry grow more and more. So that's all I got. If there are no questions, I am gonna go ahead and end the live. I appreciate you guys for joining. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alex Otto. Make sure you join that Facebook community. If you are interested in switching over from Turo to the private car rental business, remember, time is more valuable than money, right? Build a business that pays you and not the other way around. I think we just had a question come in, so I will get to that. Let's see what we got here. My guy Pete, what's going on, bro? What's going on, Pete? Can we rent to drivers that drive for Uber Lyft, and basically they're renting from US, and as long as the car fits requirement, we're good, right? Yeah. So you said renting from US. Are you outside the US, bro? Let me know. But yeah, as long as the car fits the requirements, right? So there are multiple platforms outside of Uber and Lyft. So if you look at DoorDash, there are no requirements for vehicles. You can do DoorDash with a bicycle. So you can give somebody like a 2008 Honda Accord, charge them $300, $350 a week. They can use it for DoorDash. They can make a lot of money on DoorDash. And you're just printing with a ridiculously cheap car. Uber and Lyft is just two platforms that you can use. I think Uber has like a requirement of like 15 years. I think Lyft is like 12 years, something like that. But there's no mileage limit or anything like that. And a lot of these platforms, you can use a car that's older, but they just want it inspected more regularly. So I had a car that I had on Lyft that was a little bit older, and they wanted to do the inspection every 6 months instead of every year. But they were still cool with the car being on the platform. So yeah, just keep that, whatever you want to do, whatever car you have, you can always make money with it, especially when it comes to the private side. But good question. Let me know if you're in the US, bro, because the way you asked that question sounds like you may not be in the US. Um, let's see. But yeah, drop your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Drop your questions. I know you guys have questions. If you let me get up this live, I'm not coming back till next week Sunday. I'm going back to focusing on my students for the rest of the week until next week Sunday. So, um, if you have any questions, definitely drop it. I'll try and stay on for a little bit longer, just in case people, join. Um, but for me, I'm not against Turo, but what I am against is, if you are sophisticated, you shouldn't be on Turo. Like, if you actually understand a little bit about business, you shouldn't be on Turo. I see Turo as like kindergarten, right? Everybody's there, they're playing, everybody's making a little bit of money, cool. Most people don't really know what they're doing on Turo, um, and you can tell by the way people price things. Um, and I'm just not a fan of playing a game with people that don't know what they're doing because they ruin the game, right? It's a game of making money. That's what it is. Like we let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not pretend this is anything else than us trying to make money, right? We're trying to be profitable, right? We want to be profitable. So what's the best way to be profitable? And on top of that, not only do we want to be profitable, we want to do it in a way that doesn't suck up all our time. So, and the way to do that is to find the right customer, right? Because it is a car, it needs to be maintained. So you need to give it to the right person who will want to keep it for a long period of time. That way, you don't have to deal with it as much, you don't have to see it as much, and it's easier for you to make money with it. So, yeah, that's it. That's what I want people to understand and realize. It took me 3 years to build this, and I'm here to teach people to do it, transform. Give people that transformation I had. I think that's the impact I want to make. So, appreciate that. Appreciate you guys for joining. My guy Dammy, man, Dammy, you're always here, man. Dammy, what's going on? What would you say about renters saying it's too expensive to rent cars for delivery and ride share? Um, I don't. I mean, people will always say something. Um, I don't know what kind of renters you're specifically referring to, but I don't. I have people that I have a wait list of like 200 people that need the car, so I don't necessarily have that problem. What I do see sometimes is people might say it's a little bit more expensive than they want. So like for example, I might have the car listed for like 450 a week, and then they'll say, oh, they were hoping it would be 350, 450 is a little bit too high. I see that, if that's what you're referring to, but if somebody is saying your service is too expensive, just say okay, thank you, and then move on to the next person. People, people will always people will always think something is too expensive if it's out their price range. So if you want to give me more context there, give me more context so that I can answer. Um, but there will always be people that say that it's too expensive. When I had my cars for 350 a week, people were saying it's too expensive. When I had it for 450 a week, people were saying it's too expensive. Somebody will always say it's too expensive. Um, but let me know. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that answered your question. For sure. For sure. All right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, guys. So if that's all the questions, I will go ahead and end the live. I appreciate you guys for joining. Make sure you join that Facebook group, all right? If you haven't already, join that. Make sure you're in there. Big announcement coming very, very soon. But if there are no more questions, I know a couple people just joined. If you have questions, feel free to drop it. If not, I will go ahead and end the live. Make sure you join the Facebook community, and I'll see you guys on the next live, okay? Let's go.